Looks like Chevrolet is sending us a 2023 Equinox. Are we pronouncing that right? Let's take a look at the paperwork. Or should I say screen work. The base price starts around $25,000, but this is an upgraded model. Starting at $32,000, and then we have options as always. Bringing the price up to here. Only one engine, 1.5 liter turbo, 175 horsepower. Here's the fuel economy claim. We'll be taking this out in the real world and see if this is true. And a lot of people buy Chevrolet products because they want an American brand. Well, here you go, sort of an American brand. Ay, caramba, muchacho. And before we get to the Chevy, we also tested a Toyota Corolla Cross compact SUV. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video, if you want to see how it compares. Or if you like Chevrolet products, you know you really want that new Corvette. We put 1,000 miles on one to see what it's like. We have that video coming up too. So you're getting 3 videos for the price of 1, free. Alright, we're at our garage and test facility. Let's roll this Equinox out and see what it looks like. Looks pretty nice. I think this metallic red paint certainly helps. And the rear view. As we saw on the price sheet earlier, this is the upgraded RS, which means it has lots of eye candy upgrades to look prettier. And there sure is a wide lid for the fuel nozzle. I see there's a blank hole there, probably for some hybrid or something. Nice looking 19-inch wheels. One of the first things we do when we get a vehicle is take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. We already did a separate video on that for YouTube, but if you didn't see that, it'll be part 3 of this video. Looks like we have 3 bulbs on each side. And the other thing we always do, we check and see if there's a spare tire. Very important for an SUV because a lot of them are taken off-road and you don't want to get a flat without a spare. So let's look under here. Okay, a tiny donut, but better than nothing. There seems to be decent cargo space here, and of course these second row seats do fold down if you need more. Let's take a look at the cabin. A very large glove box, lots of room in there, unusual for a compact SUV. These sun visors slide back to block out sun from the side windows. Some vehicles you can't do that, unbelievably, but here, yes we can. Very simple climate controls. No need to scroll through the owner's manual to figure out how it works. The infotainment screen is large enough. Here's the camera system with the transmission in reverse. Nice clarity. No auto dimming mirror, thank you very much. Just the manual setup. That's the way to do it. A nice simple gauge cluster. None of that digital nonsense. Analog gauges. By the way, this is advertised as having all-wheel drive for 4-wheel traction, but you have to press the button to get that. Otherwise, it's 2-wheel drive, which is good because that's a fuel economy saver. No point in driving an all-wheel drive if you don't need all that traction. This is a very nice power steering system. Decent feel and feedback. Responsive enough. No complaints. And I see the tire pressures are pretty much right on. So with that, we'll do what we always do in our vehicles, taking some mild speed humps around 15 to 20 miles per hour to see how the suspension performs on impact. Here comes bump number 1. I heard some thumping there, didn't feel too much. Must be those big wheels and tires. Here comes the second bump. Let's try the big nasty one now. Felt that one, but nothing serious. This is a short wheelbase vehicle, so I don't expect a limousine type ride. The suspension on the Equinox is a bit firmer than others, so it does result in a nice handling and cornering ability. Even if there is a bit of body lean. We'll just call the handling sporty. Yeah, just walk out in front of my car, idiot. With a tiny 1.5 liter engine and a 6-speed automatic, you don't expect much acceleration, but actually it doesn't do too bad. Got a lot of giddy up. We're going to take a highway trip, see what type of fuel kind numbers we get, and grade the comfort zone. And at 75 miles per hour, we're pulling around 2,600 RPM, for those who like to know those things. The Equinox is comfortable enough on the freeway, although there's a lot of rumbling noise coming from the tires and wheels. And a bit more wind noise I would like, but you get used to it. Nothing serious. Well, there's our official number. Can this little Chevy SUV be taken off pavement? Yes, it can. But remember, it's light duty only. This is still basically a car, not a heavy duty truck. And the narrow width does allow it to squeeze in tight spaces. And don't forget the all-wheel drive button for better traction in the sand. For light duty ranch patrolling, this vehicle will do just fine. At least for me. So what's my take on driving the Equinox after a week? Not a bad vehicle, very pleasant. I don't have any serious complaints. But the compact SUV crossover market's very, very competitive. Toyota and Honda pretty much rule it. The Koreans like Hyundai, Kia, they have a big chunk of it too. Same with Mazda. Very, very competitive. And since the Chevrolet dealers are more willing to give rebates and discounts than some of the other makers, that's why these sell pretty good. Comes down to price in most cases. Or maybe some people just like Chevrolets. And the reader surveys by Consumer Report shows this is a fairly reliable vehicle, so no problem there. If you didn't see our night drive and headlight test video we did on YouTube, we'll attach this on now for part 3 of the video. It's dark enough. Let's take these headlights out and see what's going on. Got a lot of glare because of the dampness and coldness, so a lot of reflections coming from the headlights. But they are pretty bright from my end. And the rear view, pretty bright. Here we got the emergency lights, drawn down a bit by the tail light brightness. And we have the lights on the outside mirrors, pretty bright. And the blinkers are separate from the headlights, way down below. Makes it easier to see. Now with the headlights off, far better. Yeah, now, definitely brighter. Put the transmission in reverse, and this is what we see. Pretty good clarity, at least in person. Maybe not so much on my cheap handheld camera. So let's see what these buttons do. Got a view from the sky, view from the front, side view. I guess that's fine if you want to see the pavement by the door. Pretty nice setup for an inexpensive vehicle. The rest of the vehicle lights up pretty good. Aren't too many bells and whistles in here. Dash looks pretty good. Gauge cluster pretty good. No complaints. Getting back to the headlights, the purpose of our test. Here we have the low beams on a wall 33 yards away, or 100 feet. How many meters is that? I keep forgetting. For all you European friends over there. Very bright, good height over the bushes. Good thus far. Now let's go to high beam. Not a wide spread, but definitely strong in the middle. Very strong. where it counts. Looking good. So let's take a look on this dark, dingy street. Got the low beams on. High beams really reach out in the center. Also, if you watch my videos, I'm not a fan of auto-dimming mirrors, especially when you're driving in the city. You do not want to have blacked out mirrors when you're driving in city traffic. It's dangerous. If there's a disconnect switch, then I'm happy, but here we don't have automatic dimming mirrors. We have a simple manual setup. On, off, the way I like it. These headlights do a pretty good job reflecting off signs on the highway. Uh-oh. Guy in back of me's in trouble. Being pulled over by the SWAT team. Or maybe they're after me. Maybe we'll see a high-speed chase in my video and I'll get 1 million views finally. Well, if you're in the habit of driving on dark, dingy streets, these are pretty good lights. Yeah, nice decorations. Overall, I would say this vehicle passed the night drive and headlight test. I have no gripes to list.